Would I prune this? Would I prune that tree? Not yet. I'd probably leave it another growing season, and then I would take those off. On the other hand, I have good taper, other than, look what happened. I lost the terminal, but now birch is really good about coming back and making another terminal on its own pretty well. Had I been on the ball and cut that off sooner, there would be even less kink. But a couple of years from now, you won't even be able to see that, because there'll be more growth on this side than there will be on this side. But no, I wouldn't take anything off of here yet. I would like to shift every plant in every container once each growing season, to have fresh mix that's well aerated with plenty of nutrients, a minimum of accumulated salts, and all those factors in there. A second growing season, you can still get pretty good growth. By the third growing season, almost nothing happens, because you've run out of space. You run out of space. The roots grow in the spaces that were originally filled with air. So the more the roots grow, the less air there is, and oxygen is a key function, a key part of root growth and root development. And then there's some settling of the mix. There's decomposition of the mix due to breakdown of the bark or whatever the components are. Between those three factors, 2 growing seasons is the maximum that is practical to leave a tree in a container. The temptation is to say, well, I want to finish it in a 120-gallon container, so I'm going to go directly there. Well, that's generally not a wise thing to do. You may spend less labor on transplanting, but in the long run, you'd be better off to do that transplanting. The other reason why I encourage going to an intermediate size is, at some point, there's two factors. One, if somebody comes along and wants them in 65-gallon containers and you've already put them into 120 but they haven't rooted out, you miss a sale. Number two is that if you go to that 65, before you spend the additional money and labor to go to the 120, you can pick out the best ones to go to the 120 with, to make sure each one of those is a Cadillac, and you don't end up with some Chevy Vegas in here. Yeah.